A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another book review today. So, cheers. I'm drinking some red wine because the book I am going to review today deals with somewhat of the aristocracy of the empire, so to speak. So it felt fitting. Today I am looking at Tarkin by James Luceno. I have reviewed a previous novel of his in the past about Darth Plagueis. He has a really great way of bringing these Star Wars villains to life. Now, Tarkin is about Wilf Tarkin, who is Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. He doesn't get a lot of really character building screen time in that film because, spoiler alert, he dies when the Death Star blows up. He is in a few other series, Star Wars Rebels, The Bad Batch. He makes an appearance in Rogue One, and I believe he is in Revenge of the Sith as well. I could be wrong about that. In the original film, however, he was played by Peter Cushing to superb effect. So, this is not going to be a very long review, but it's going to be a spoiler-filled review. So, if you don't want to know what happens in this novel, then just know that I really thoroughly enjoyed this book. One of the great Star Wars villains that doesn't get enough love, in my personal opinion. And you can skip back to one of my other videos. They're all fucking awesome. But if you want to find out what is going on in Tarkin, stick around and we'll get right into the next episode of...
Read a fucking book. 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 People.
So the first thing I want to note is the cover. You can see this fantastic art with Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader in the background. Vader plays a huge role in this novel. And basically, the point of the book is the beginning of the rebellion. A group of rebels, so to speak, former Imperials, have decided to kind of fuck with the Empire, and in doing so, fuck with the Emperor. And Grand Moff Tarkin, who is overseeing the construction of the Death Star, has been called away back to Coruscant. He has been called to team up with Vader because there's a small insurgent group that is attacking Imperial bases, and Palpatine wants to know kind of what the fuck is going on. They use Tarkin's ship, the Carrion Spike, and when they head to this planet Mercana, because there are communications devices, what's happening? Someone is splicing into the Holo network and broadcasting propaganda. So they get to Mercana to investigate this thing. It's a setup. The Carrion Spike gets stolen. And this is Tarkin's flagship. This is the one that he had personally kind of designed. So it's got stealth capabilities and all this other cool stuff. And then it basically becomes he and Vader not only tracking down the Carrion Spike, but trying to work out who stole it at the same time. In between these kind of story beats, we get Tarkin's backstory, how he was raised as aristocracy on the planet Areidu, and his uncle kind of took him out into the wilderness to either make or break him and teach him to be the hunter, not the hunted. And we get this great kind of imagery of Tarkin kind of learning these life lessons, which he then puts into use to track down the people that stole his ship. not only that, but through the course of this story, we're also getting how intelligent Tarkin is. And we get this by him being able to calculate how much fuel his ship has compared to hyperspace jumps. And by whittling these kind of factors down, he slowly works out that the thieves were all part of the Imperial Security Bureau, and that it's almost a revenge plot. And ultimately, he leads them back to his home planet, where he manages to trap them. At the same time, we get insight into Tarkin and Vader's relationship. We know pretty much that Tarkin has worked out that Vader is Anakin Skywalker. If you've ever watched the Clone Wars TV series, you'll know that Anakin and Obi-Wan rescued Tarkin from the Separatists. So he's seen kind of mannerisms in Vader that were in Anakin, and he's kind of pieced them together. This is also the book where he becomes a Grand Moff, the first Grand Moff in the Imperial Navy, so to speak. And the Emperor, we also find out that the Emperor took kind of a liking to him at a very early age when he was still Senator Palpatine, and kind of pushed him through the judicial system, where he was going to become somewhat of a lawyer figure, but then Palpatine kind of pushed him to enter the military, much to his father's chagrin. This is just a fantastic look at a villain that we really don't know a lot about. And James Luceno has fleshed out this villain very, very well, just like he did with Darth Plagueis in the previous novel. This book, I believe, is canon. So there is that. But it's just a really great villain story, villain backstory. The space battles are described amazingly well, to the point where it's almost like you're watching them on the screen. That's how good the space battles are told. There is intrigue. There are some great plot points with Vader, with Palpatine, with Palpatine's retinue that we actually saw in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, Mas Amedda, and characters like that. So it is just a really great Star Wars novel with a really interesting plot twist that I'm not actually going to give away, because I want you to read this stuff for yourself. But the plot twist involves who is behind the actual stealing of the carrion spike and the attacks on the Imperial bases. So there you have it. Star Wars Tarkin by James Luceno. Great book. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell. Toast to a villain, whatever villain you fucking love, because we all know villains are better than the heroes in most of this shit. But most importantly, have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay safe. And of course, read a fucking book, people. Or go and watch the new Ahsoka series on Disney Plus, because fuck it, it's awesome. 2 episodes in, loving every minute of it.